Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about subfinder and substitute lesson plans. Definitely subfinder, you have to call this number, 430-3681. You've got to call and record your voice. It's going to ask you to choose option 4, which will allow you to review your personal information for accuracy, especially those folks that are new to the building, have been reassigned to cook. You really have to double check this. So go in, make sure you record your voice, and when the system asks for your PIN number, that is your Social Security number, and you just enter it in with no dashes, just the numbers, and check that personal information, option 4. You're now in the subfinder system. You can access the subfinder system now 24 hours, 7 days a week. You can go over the web or you can do the telephone. And we have 2 pamphlets that you can take a look at. The directions are very specific and you just have to follow the prompts that are laid out on the pamphlets for the directions. Very easy to do. Let's talk a little bit about leave. All your personal reasons leave must be approved by Ms. Sessoms, the principal, and you need to do that at least 3 days in advance of the absence. Of course, we know sometimes emergencies happen and so forth, but really you need to strive for at least 3 days in advance of notifying her so that we can secure a sub and that's approved in time. Professional leave requests. Those must also be approved by Ms. Sessoms. You will find the personal reasons and the sick leave and the professional leave forms on the teacher portal on the left-hand side under Forms. If you know you're going to be absent in advance and you want to request a specific substitute, you can do that if you know the employee's subfinder number. If you don't, otherwise just come and see me. We can look the person up really quick and get the absence entered in correctly if you would like to do that. Remember again, subfinder is up 24 hours, 7 days a week. However, if it is after 6:30 in the morning, you cannot call in an absence successfully, and it's really going to leave the school in a hard spot, your class, the students, everybody. So if you wake up in the morning and if you're feeling sick, don't wait until 7 o'clock to call and say, oh, I thought I could make it, and I just can't. If you're feeling sick, go ahead and just call. It's better to stay home, recuperate, rest, get stronger, be 100%, and come back for your kids rather than to be here sick. We do have a permanent substitute who's on site here at Cook Elementary, and that's Mr. Mike Romano. He can be assigned to a classroom. You can request him ahead of time. But if you call in sick that morning or you show up and you think you can make it for the day and you realize after about an hour that you just can't make it, he may not always be available. So don't always count on the fact that we do have that permanent sub. He could already be assigned to a classroom or helping out somewhere else, and I may not be able to pull him. So again, just use your best judgment. If you realize you're sick or your child is sick, go ahead and call subfinder or get on the web and call that absence in so that we make sure we get a substitute in here. Again, please print the web directions and the telephone directions for subfinder. They're on that teacher portal on the left-hand side under Forms. Since we're talking about being absent, let's go over some things about your substitute lesson plans. Make sure that these lesson plans are really spelled out and detailed so that anybody could come in, pick them up, and understand what you're trying to cover with the kids. Make sure you tell your grade level chair where you typically keep your lesson plans, whether it's on your desk, a certain shelf, somewhere on your grade level. Maybe your team partner, somebody else has to know. Because if you don't show up that morning and we're looking all around the room for your lesson plans, somebody really needs to know to help us out. Emergency lesson plans. Heaven forbid something terrible would happen to one of us. But we need to have at least 2 days worth of lesson plans spelled out. It can be something fairly generic. You need to go ahead and have the things run off, everything spelled out, ready with a list of your... Okay, now that we've talked about your lesson plans and letting the grade level chair, your team partner know where they're located, let's talk a little bit about your emergency lesson plans. Everybody needs to have emergency lesson plans submitted to your grade level chair. You need to have at least 2 days worth of those plans. They can be fairly generic plans, skills that are appropriate for your grade level, but these are plans that are set forth in case there would be maybe some type of accident on the way to school, you're involved in a car accident, something, and you're not here and it's an emergency. we have to have something, the grade level chair has to have something to be able to hand someone to take care of that class for a day or two until the grade level can come together and get the substitute moving in the right direction. So again, emergency plans, at least 2 days worth, completely run and ready to your grade level chair. It's also probably a good idea, when we're talking about those substitute plans, you might want to make a little small sign near your classroom door, just in case your grade level chair or your team partner may be absent the same day. A little sign that states the location of your daily lesson plan notebook. And I'm thinking of something color near the door, near the phone, something that would be a clue to us, that would be color, to give us a heads up. You want to have the numbers of your grade level teammates with you. In your cell phone, go ahead and store them in case of an emergency, you need them. Have them at home on the fridge, in your classroom. Have your grade level cell phone numbers with you. Again, my number is 403-6999. You can leave me a message if I don't answer. You can call me after 6:30 in the morning. Try not to after 10 o'clock at night. Last-ditch effort, if you have to, shoot me an email, but that's a last resort because Ms. Sussons and I don't always check email very first thing in the morning. We come in, things may be happening in the building. We may not see that if that's the only method you've used to tell us that you're going to be out for the day. So again, my cell phone number, 403-6999. Call me, leave me a message, or you can send me a text. The employee handbook, your teacher handbook, has specific information if you're requesting an absence for a day that's connected to the start or the end of a holiday. So let's say you're wanting to be at Thanksgiving, you want to take the 2 days before the Thanksgiving holiday starts. There are specific procedures set in place for that. Ms. Sussons, the principal, must approve that, and then she's going to ask you to write a letter to the Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources stating your reasons for those absences with the dates and times. So just a heads up about that if you're thinking or you know ahead that you may have absences connected to a holiday.